Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. This is the Take a Poll podcast, episode 89, previewing Naas on the 26th of January. Deck, it's good to see you haven't blown away. Stayed safe during the storm. Very good.
No,
How are things for you?
Haven't blown away. There was chairs all over the garden this morning, but nothing left the garden. So
yeah, there's a few stricken fences, garden fences around my area, and electricity down, but nothing else. Not too.
My fences were okay now, and there's no trees down out the front. So I think we done well enough.
Yeah, look, we were well prepared, I suppose, even as a country. So, and it's good. Yeah. It only affected Dundalk, so we can live with that.
Yeah, well, that's it. And hopefully we're back tomorrow at Fairyhouse.
Yeah, easily rescheduled to Monday. No issues there. Fairyhouse looks good to go. It looks like there was a bit of rail damage at Fairyhouse, but nothing Peter and the racecourse of the year can't fix. I think they'd be well on top of that by now already. I'd imagine.
Racecourse of the year.
Yeah, that's why the racecourse of the year as well. That's exactly it. So yeah, very much looking forward to Fairyhouse tomorrow, and hopefully by the time you listen to this, you've made a few quid from Tap 88. That's the main aim there. So yeah, absolutely. Right, well, let's just get straight into this then, Deck. Nice card. Looking forward to it. The Clinton Higgins Chartered Accountants Novice Handicap Chase, the 1 p.m. the first race over just a little bit further than 2.5 miles is the opener on the card. A race that I always kind of earmark in the calendar for a novice chaser that might be just in this range that, you know, it's been running decent beginner's chases and always rocks up in here. It is a race that can be often targeted, and there's one I very much fancy, Deck, and I know he's been on your radar as well. Canal End. Do you think it's that easy for him? But you could probably pick out 6 or 7 nearly in this. That'll probably have a very good chance.
I think this is very, very difficult. You want to be brave now to just come down on one and be dead certain, but I'm going to try come down on one. But look, I'll give you my thoughts anyway. Answer the Cave, I was a big fan of his last year, only the whole season. Yeah, he is now 9, but like there is a chance he's just a class horse in the race, and that he's just much better than 130. We've only ever seen him run in one handicap, and that was the Martin Pipe. And, that was, at times that arguably looks like some of the better graded novice hurdles at last year's festival. He ran off 137 British marks, so it's kind of hard to work out, like, right, did he run a cracker off 130, an Irish 130? We don't really know, but he gave it a right go anyway. He was a really good novice hurdler. He's won at Naas. I think he won an auction. At Naas. He won his maiden at Limerick. He was second to Waterford Whispers. Like he had all the novice form you wanted to see to go under the radar, and maybe that's why he has that mark of 130. And he's not my selection, but I'm kind of talking myself into it now. The more I go, mispronunciation. She's in here off 122, hurdle winner off 109. She won a rated novice hurdle off 117, and Laser Wolf was running off his mark that day. So you could say she's won off her mark. She's £5 higher. American Money's also won twice in Naas as a hurdler. He's an 8-year-old. That was twice last season. The second time was off 111. He's in here off 113. I think he could be really well treated as well. Petit King, he's a 9-year-old, the same as Answer the Cave, beaten 3 lengths off 113 over hurdles at Easter, and a half a length off 112. He's in here off 110. Like, they've all got really good chances if they improve for fences. But the one I've come down on, Andy, is Bugelbocht, and I know he's in the star cap or the quarter cap or whatever it is. He's not in the white cap. But he's only a 7-year-old, the same as Canal End. He was 3/4 of a length second off 117. The mark he runs off here was the over hurdles. He had won twice before that, and he was 10 lengths when he was second. He was 10 lengths clear of the other Mozzie who won over fences at Naas the last day. I just think his form coming into this is stronger than Canal End's, and you can make a case for any of them. There's probably ones I've left out you can make a really good case for. This is an absolute cracker of a race. For a race, it's only worth 16 grand. Like
yeah, there's probably easier 16 grands to pick up elsewhere, but yeah,
it was actually a pleasure to run through the race and make notes on them and try work out. Everyone you came to, you were like, aha, I found a winner here.
I thought this is easy, and then
first one I looked at, I have the winner, but the next one the same, This is an absolute cracker. Fair play to anyone who can come down on the winner here, because
cheers, Nick.
Yeah, I think the winner comes from any of them I've mentioned, but I'll come down on Buckelbach.
Right.
But I will say, the more I was talking there, the more I was convincing myself that Answer the Cave might just be a classier horse than all of this.
Yeah, well, look, he has a mark of 138 in Ireland, so he wouldn't be allowed running this race. Well, actually, he would, because 130 actually equals 11 stone 12. But like, what, he'd be carrying 12.6 or something. So yeah, it would be an absolute massive ask if this race was over hurdles for him over that sort of way. Look, I texted you on Stevens' day when Canal End ran, because I know you half fancied him for that race at Leopardstown over 2 miles.
That race was quite similar to this one.
Yeah,
I just fancied the King of PR so much, but you put me in my place and rightly so. That was the trip. He was going to want to step up and trip, and you did mention this race. And
nice last weekend in January. There's something like what I said, and that here he is. So when a horse ends up in a race that you've targeted him at, now obviously you could say, for the better horses, Ballymore Supreme, but at this type of level, when you pick out a race that far in advance, you don't tend to be that far wrong. I don't think so.
We haven't been bad at doing that ourselves, Andy.
Yeah, so, no, that's what we do. That's what we do.
If you've seen that, yeah, I do trust you, but Ted Walsh's local track as well.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, and if you look through Canal End's form, like, he's never really troubled the judge over fences, but like, he keeps getting that like never nearer or never near to challenge comment, which you could always do without. He got it last time out on his handicap chase and debut, and he got it the time before that when a bit of an eye catcher behind If I Were a Rich Man. And that was, I think that was his final kind of novice chase start. That wasn't a handicap. I think it could have been a rated chase actually, which is kind of like a handicap in a way, for lack of a better term, but it's not an official handicap. Horses kind of have provisional marks in that. I think 119, I'd be surprised if he wasn't better than it, but you do make a good point that there's a good few horses in here that could be better than their marks. Some of them could even be significantly better. I would say Canal End is definitely better than his mark. He will win a race, and we picked out this race for him, so I'm going to stick with my thoughts on that, and I'm going to keep him on side. You're with Buchel booked, but you've nearly talked yourself into Answer the Cave then, yeah?
Yeah, look, I fully expected to just be on right Canal End, but
yeah. And unbelievably, we haven't talked about the horse that's on a hat-trick, Individual East, for the On Fire Gavin Cromwell yard as well, which is actually quite amazing. He was maybe a bit lazy in the finish. I think he had more in hand than it looked when he beat Away with the Sea last time out, who ran a blinder. But yeah, he's probably going to set the market. I don't know if he'll be able to rattle off a hat-trick in this company. This is hot now.
You're bumping into 5 or 6 here.
Yeah, exactly.
The bet will be interesting.
The bet will tell you a lot you need to know. Yeah. The 130 then is to get extra Cheltenham places now at Bet Victor Maiden Hurdle. You don't want extra places at Cheltenham already, do you? Like that's who's back in who wants 5 places each way on the plate in.
We don't have entries or marks.
Get extra places on. Why would you? Okay. Anyway, look. We're not here. There are no SBK anyway, are they? So 19 runners for this maiden hurdle. Young Churchill, he drew a Triumph Hurdle entry out of Noel Mead and Connections for a good third behind Beyond Your Dreams on his hurdling debut. So they obviously think a lot of Young Churchill. I'm always a devil for the Churchills going over hurdles as well. I think he's a pretty underrated sire in this sphere, especially the juvenile hurdle sphere. And speaking of that, we do have a Charles in here for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend, who is by, you guessed it, Churchill. achieved a pretty decent level on the flat in France when trained by Jean-Claude Rouget. He was listed placed on the flat, and given that he's by Churchill, I would be surprised if he wasn't able to jump. He is going to be probably very, very hard to beat, and I'm quite interested to see how he gets on, because he could be one that kind of... I'll have to double check if he got a try and fertile entry. I'm assuming he did, but Deck, who do you like here?
He does have a try and fertile entry.
Okay.
Yeah, look, obviously I was drawn to him as well. You know, stable, coming from France. He was second in the illicit race on heavy. He won on heavy, and obviously we feel like he'd be able to jump, but nothing really. You know, I always feel like you're probably going to be right, but you're guessing.
You are guessing, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, we try not to be total guessers. So I'd probably give Holy See a chance. Martin the Limerick Maiden form again. It's not working out too bad. The seconds followed up. Can't remember the name. Just escaped me at the moment. But like we've seen good juveniles come from this yard a lot recently. You know, they all look very talented. And
Laffy as well, not a juvenile, but we'll talk about him in a bit, probably. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We speak about him. Young horses, but like they even have that nice one, Eagle Fang, is it, that ran on the long walk? Was placed in the Lismullen hurdle. Like they're nice built organs, have a nice resurgence, and it's quite enjoyable. So look, not an awful lot of interest in the race. That Charles probably will go and just bolt up, especially if he can jump. But I'll give Holy See a squeak.
Yeah, Holy See at a nice each way price. Yeah, I'd have it between the two sons of Churchill. Young Churchill did achieve a decent amount on the level. Charles is going to be no price. I'd imagine he's going to be a shade of odds on, given his connections. And look, I've no qualms about the sire being able to produce jumpers as well. 25-1 right now for the try and fertile. Look, I'm not going to be. That's just to wave a docket around after he's won a maiden hurdle, isn't it? Really, like you're better off waiting until the day, unless he goes and wins by 50 lengths, which you never know. But I don't think that's going to happen. Onto the 2 o'clock deck, a race for you, the Naas Racecourse Business Club Limestone Lad hurdle.
I'm potentially presenting the trophy here.
Potentially, yeah, and talking about
if I make it down from the dinner.
Yeah, see if they fill you up first. Only a trio of runners, which is a little bit disappointing. But look, what can you do, I suppose? Look, Beacon Edge, I don't know if you'd have to go a long way to find a horse more like unfavoured at the weights. An 11-year-old's trying to give, like, he has to give £2 to Amsterdam, and he has to give £9 to Laffy. Not the look, that's the type of horse, isn't he? He's a fun horse, and they've had their bit of fun with him, obviously winning at Weatherby this year. Amsterdam is obviously going to be the big talking horse. He's had a talk, maybe the international hurdle at Cheltenham, which is on Saturday. They didn't go there. Had an Irish champion hurdle entry. They didn't choose that, so they've gone for the easier option. A race that has been won by Espoir de Land before winning a champion hurdle in the past, as you know quite well, Deck. And Laffy, who we did mention just there previously, but was quite impressive in beating Keynesburg at Limerick and was unfancy to do so. 95 rated on the flat. He's no mug, but he'd want to be probably quite good to beat Amsterdam, wouldn't you think? Yeah,
I was there today, Amsterdam, won a Ferry House, and he looked the real deal, and he was actually, Willie's win, well, it's not always a surprise, but it was a bit, this fella's good.
He ended up at Ballyhack, didn't he?
Yeah. So Carla Conti was second. She's been placed again, and she was second again in the grade 3 behind July Flower, who they seem to think an awful lot of down in Henry's. Dodger Long was third, who I think could be a decent enough bet for the Betfair hurdle at Newbury. He was really, really impressive. Yeah, Laffy's a maiden winner at Limerick. Form has been let down a little bit.
And that was over 2.5 miles now, Deck.
Yeah, it was
over.
But I think the third is a Rob Corr horse has been beaten as well.
At Cork, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, at Cork. Yeah. So the form has been let down a little bit. But Amsterdam looked a really nice horse, and I'd be picking best turned out here, Andy.
Really? Oh, well, you can't gamble on that, you tell me. You'll pick Beacon Edge, I know you will.
Yeah.
You absolutely will.
We done it before. We done it before for the flat meeting in April.
It's incredible. Go on, sorry. No, go ahead.
No,
go ahead,
we
sorry.
picked the best turn out, and then we backed the winner of the race and presented the trophy. So it was good crack. But yeah, we'll be there as part of the business club on Sunday for a meal and some networking and maybe a few drinks. But we'll probably leave the presentation and the best picking the best one out to someone else who hasn't done it before, you know. So
yeah.
But I'll definitely get down to the ring to see Amsterdam again, because he did look exciting.
He did, yeah. Big strapping son of authorised. So if you add Laffy and Amsterdam's ages together, they're still younger than Beacon Edge as well. They're both 5, so quite interesting.
Come here, Beacon Edge, what a legend, you know. Always been a high class hurler. Very ground dependent though. But like, even to see what he's doing this year, and I can't remember the run at Christmas. Did he run well for a long way?
He went all right, yeah. He went fine. Like, he wasn't, yeah.
But he is a legend, and to be still doing it, and to be still going to Britain. And as I said to you before, I had to tell you on the background, I thought he was at the winning the handicap. Didn't realise he was at the winning the grade 3 over there. So yeah, lovely horse down. I know he's originally owned by Jigginstown. He was a grade 1 winner of our fences as well.
Won the Drimmore, yeah. He was winning maiden hurdles and finishing placed in grade 2s before these two were conceived. So quite incredible.
What age was he racing at 4?
He was racing at 4, yeah, he was, yeah. But by 6 he was winning maiden hurdles and whatnot. So Nicky Richards had him originally, so he won a bumper at 4 for Nicky Richards. So yeah, quite amazing. It's going to be Amsterdam, isn't it? Like, it's got to be. But like, well, look, I wonder how short he's going to be, because Laffy is definitely, like, all he can do is go and win his maiden. He was impressive in doing it. So
yeah, I hope Amsterdam bolts up and throws his hat into the champion hurdle ring, and is like, look, you have to send me. You can't leave me here.
Yeah,
I have to go now after that.
I'm not like Undisco. I'm actually well in the head, so I don't think I can go to Cheltenham. It's fine.
He has to go, and you know, look, if Amsterdam bolts up here, Stateman underperforms next week. Lossiemouth has already been beaten by Constitution Hill and didn't look like a champion hurdler. He has to go.
Yeah, I know, he'd be well worth his place. What else would you do with him? Leave him in the yard, like, yeah,
you know.
No, absolutely, totally agree. The half 2 is the Finlay Ford at Naas Novice Chase, grade 3, and look, for the lack of depth the lack of kind of runners in the 2 o'clock. This race more than makes up for it. We got 5 runners. Bioluminescence, who does carry a penalty. I think she won a grade 2 in her chasing debut, I think, down at Limerick. Dancing City, a triple grade 1 winning novice hurdler last season, and started his chasing career winning at not Fairyhouse, but at Punchestown. Di Capo Deck, who you'll talk about a little bit in a minute, beat quite a bourbon at Leopardstown last time out. Good land, 4th in the Limerick, the Faheen Novices Chase on his previous start, and behind El Atlantic before that. And then Fire Force, all due respect, is a banter entry. So, Deck, who do you fancy here?
I'm quite keen on the Capo here.
Right, okay. So he's got to be 4th in the betting, I would have thought. So tell us why.
He's only 6. He's improving. He's a horse we've always liked, and he's just come along nicely. He wasn't a superstar as a hurdler. But like, even that day at Leopardstown last March, we were quite impressed by him. And he's just, sometimes they come along a bit slower. I'm saying he's coming along a bit slower. He's a year younger than Dancing City and Bioluminescence.
Yeah. But he's had more starts than them.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? He's just come under the radar a little bit. Look, Dancing City's gone and won 3 grade 1s as a novice hurdler. You know, he's looked like a superstar. But I watched the end of that chase back again, and I think there's 2 kinds of people out there. There's people who thought it was absolutely shite, and there's people who were trying to tell you it was absolutely brilliant. I'm somewhere in the middle. I just wasn't fully convinced by his chasing debut, and I'm not going looking for, well, look, you come on for it. I already picked up and went away again.
Yeah.
I just wasn't totally convinced by it. And I'd imagine he was one you were quite excited about, Andy, on Chase.
I wasn't, to be honest with you. Like, I liked him because he had a decent vein of form, and he was at the Dublin Racing Festival at what I thought was a ludicrous price. And look, he improved, and to be honest, he improved more than I thought, because I fancied him at the Dublin Racing Festival. I didn't fancy him at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
And I didn't really overly. So it was really, so he was very, very impressive. And just because we picked him out at the Dublin Racing Festival, he's one of the horses that I feel like I almost feel proud of myself that sometimes you back these at a nice price, and you'd follow them for until the day you die. But I'm happy to go and let this guy win, to be honest with you. I think he's lazy. He's likable, but
he's lazy. But I just wasn't convinced. Like, I don't even think he'd be second.
He probably did well to win, given that he took a good while to warm up last season. But but you can also argue that he's probably filled his frame. Like, he's a big horse, and he might have just been that little bit weak as well. Even winning all those graded races, but he's a hard one to kind of. So, like, would I fancy him to go and win this? Like, I'd say he'd have as good a chance as any. Would I be saying he's past the post? Absolutely not, because this is very.
And he'll be George, won't he?
I'd say he'd be favour.
I'd say he took the odds on.
Yeah, he probably will. But the Cromwell mare, albeit given weight all around, she's a big reputation. Bioluminescence. So
the reason I'm not going with her is probably because of the penalty. And she's the give a pound to Di Capo and Dance and See. But I just think Di Capo, the younger horse, and we're big ages around here, so he does come along nicely. Quita Bourbon did frank the form, wasn't emphatic, but he did. I thought it was a big performance from Di Capo at Leopardstown. That was a big beginner's chase to win on a big day, and I think he could end up the best of all the horses in this race. Like, if there's Gold Cup horse in here, it's probably him. I think he'll just keep maturing and improving. Good land. I don't think he's ever been as good as they made out. There was just a Barry Connell hype train that came along, and he was on it, and he went as one. I'm not even sure that Golden Signet he won at Leopardstown.
Sure, who did he beat? He beat. Was a Sander Clegane, and I think it was a Absolute Notions. I think was second. I backed Absolute Notions. I remember he was second. Not the strongest of grade ones in the world. Yeah.
I've never really taken to him. I've never liked him, and he's now 9, and he's still, he's going to be beaten around by a 6-year-old here on Sunday. But I have the capo, and then Bioluminescence to push him close, and maybe the penalty get her beat. I suppose that puts her hat into the mare's ring.
It does, yeah. It absolutely does. I actually think, like, the size of her last season, watching her hurdling, we seen her down at Ferryhouse. Like, she was pulled up behind Jade de Grugy in that grade 1, and like, you nearly duck for cover when you seen her walking around the ring. Yeah. It was very obvious she was going to become a chaser, and maybe the softer ground is quite important to her. But a grade 1 novice hurdle that was, it was almost short of being ran like a handicap hurdle. Like, it was a fairly brisk pace on, and 17 of them. It's rare you see 17 runners go for a grade 1 these days. Obviously, you had the Supreme and Triumph Hurdle all those years ago, but you very rarely, even I think a Golden Signet or two, that had a lot of runners back in the day. But it's very rare you see it anymore, and it just didn't suit her. And these smaller field graded races are what's going to suit her. And I have a feeling she's going to go and win this, even giving away all the way. I'd say she's a very, very high quality mare in the making, indeed. And she'd be my tentative enough selection. I think you're breaking up there, Deck. You're making a mad noise here. One sec. Yeah, right. So Bioluminescence. Sorry, there's slight technical difficulty there. So if it does sound a bit weird on the recordings, Deck had the gremlins. You were mentioning, Deck, that it's a similar case to Impervious, was it?
Yeah. Well, didn't she win the race at Punchestown? And she gave £3, I think, the journey with me.
Yeah, and, formerly known as the Colony. Yeah.
Yeah, when it was at Leopardstown. Does she remind you of? Oh, I wasn't asking. Does she remind you? Do you think she's as good as she was? Do you think bioluminescence is as good as Impervious was?
She has but she's every chance. She's every chance to achieve that, doesn't she? I think Colin Murphy's mare was a little bit younger, and she also disrespected hurdles.
Yeah,
so she had
went on favourite for the Grade 1 novice hurdle.
Yeah,
which was that good a horse, even though she didn't like them.
Absolutely. Impervious was brilliant. This is a completely different. Like, she's just cut from a different cloth. She's a massive mare. I do think she'll have a right chance at beating these now.
I think she's not as good as Impervious was, but she'll probably turn out to be better than Impervious, because unfortunately Impervious never fulfilled her potential.
No, major pity. Yeah, major pity.
Because she might win a King George and a Gold Cup.
Yeah, well, I'd say she'd have beaten any of the geldings that year at Cheltenham. I'm sure trying to think of her year. I'll double check that in case I made an absolute fool of myself, but I don't think I have. I think that she was better than a lot of those geldings that won that year. I think that maybe with the Capo deck, if he does, not that he's going to need a soft lead, but if the staying power doesn't come into this, I don't know if there'll be many faster horses in the finish than him. That's another interesting aspect if he can kind of get a softy on the lead, which wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility in this field. Right, onto the 3 o'clock down deck, which is the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Maiden hurdle. It's just further of 2.25 miles, we have a former champion bumper winner in A Dream to Share, who's probably the kind of main event here, but we
can't expect him to set the market again, can we? We won't be that lucky.
No. I look, there was people out there that had him back to 10-1 for the Supreme last year. Look, he's not. I don't think he's going to live up to what he did over.
Can he run in Can he run in a bumper at Punchestown? If no,
I don't believe so. Because he's ran behind Ballygunner Castle, so I don't think he's able to anymore. Look, he still has a right chance. Obviously, like, you can't rule him out. But you'd be a brave man to probably back him. Deck, who do you fancy here? Anyway, out of this field at 14,
I think we kind of need, and maybe the season needs, and I'd say a lot of fangirls on Twitter needs Calix, De La Belliere and Crack to go clear here, but I think they might be in trouble with Ballybow, who's second to Art of Entitlement at Down Royal at Christmas. Right.
Interesting. Ballybow,
we mentioned Kate Doughty the other night, and we'll find out more when Cocktail Divine runs tomorrow. But they were beating a good bit though, and they were beating 20 lengths or something. So
beating a long way.
Yeah. Like Ross O'Sullivan's Found the Diamond was past the line with them, I think, in 5th. So I'd say he's a nice horse as well, actually, Found the Diamond. But tomorrow, I'd imagine there'll be a lot of early money. Sunday there'll be a lot of early money for the Crawford horse and Willie's horse. But Ballybow, I'd fancy.
Ballybow then for Deck. I'm going to sit in the fence with this one, to be honest with you. Be interesting to maybe see how Crack runs.
He is trained by Crawford, isn't he?
He is, yeah. It would be interesting to see how he does. Like, there's no way he can be a bigger price than Calix De La Belliere. I'm butchering that one.
De La Belliere.
Yeah, De La Belliere. Yeah, that's nice. There's no way he's going to be a longer price than him. So, I can see where you're coming from with Ballybow as well. I'm going to probably sit in the fence and maybe use that form for the springtime, because it's not an easy one to work out. Right, on to the Albert Bartlett Triple Crown Series at Punchestown Festival 2025 qualifier handicap hurdle. Jenny McJerry could have a hard time saying that one. A great series, as we've mentioned a good few times already, Deck. Again, over just shy of 2 mile 3, actually a little over 2.25 miles. 17 going to post, and you mentioned one actually off air to me. So do you want to maybe start there?
Well, we have a rematch from New Year's Day. But, obviously Moscow now finally delivered. The time was right. He had fitness on his side, and it turns out that that's all he needed. We'd gone cold on him because, well, one of my bets of Christmas was running against him, and that was Tyson. Moscow now got £10 for that.
The handicapper said that. Yeah, the handicapper saw the money, 25s into 10 to 1, said, "You come here."
Well, when I was looking through this field, I was kind of thinking to myself, it might not stop him. It might not stop him going in. The third has won since Birmingham, Alabama. The fifth has been a good second, Slim Marvel. But then I got down further down the field and I seen Tyson was in here, who was second, and he just bumped into Moscow now. And it looked like he could win it coming to the last, and he's just bumped into one that we were waiting on over the year. He's gone up £3. He's only a 5-year-old, whereas Moscow now was 8. So you'd expect more improvement, even though Moscow now is likely enough race. But yeah, look, I think Tyson will reverse the form run. I'm confident Tyson will reverse the form run. I also think Ligon Lad deserves a mention as well. I put him up for Christmas. It was just a total no-show at Leopardstown. It was quite a competitive handicap. It was that, I think it was that novice handicap, Andy, that you like.
It was, yeah, the 2 mile one at Leopardstown. Yeah.
I'd be prepared to just put a line through that, to be honest. He'll go better, I would say, but I would fancy Tyson over him. And to be honest, if Tyson wasn't in here, I'm not sure the £10 would have been enough to stop Moscow now if they didn't want it to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 1 second.
Tell you,
all sorts. I'm blaming the power on this one because you're having all sorts of technical difficulties with it. Probably the red warning. I'm going to say the red warning. The one I quite liked, actually, well, I don't quite like it, but I think he's going to be a big price. He ran well for a long way the last time out. Was on the steel. 50 to 1 last time out behind London Office Colin. Tried to make all. Yeah, he made all the running and brought them into about the home straight before weakening. Maybe slightly more patient tactics and a slight drop in trip. Could see him go well at a big price. So I'm going to keep an eye on him. Do I want to, get heavily involved in him? Probably not. But he's one that I could see maybe running well at a big price. But I think the rematch between Musco now and Tyson is definitely, as what you said there, it's what you probably should be looking at here.
Yeah,
you think Tyson reverses the form? Box office stuff. I want to see a 3 or 5 race series between Tyson and Musco. Yeah. And with the final in Saudi Arabia on box office.
Yeah, to be going on the dirt.
Yeah. Sticking on the Tyson Fury undercard. Out in the dirt. It should be an interesting race. I could see on the steel maybe a little each way flyer on him.
I liked on the steel early summer.
Yeah, that's what he might have been. Like, he beat Dr. Gloyd, didn't he, in a maiden hurdle? Like, he decent early form. Like, he's kind of dropping to a mark. Yeah,
really disappointing since I think he looked, because he's young enough as he's.
He's 6. Yeah. And there's a lot of the races though. Like, he probably had no chance in them. Like, he went and won his maiden hurdle, pulled up in a novice hurdle, which behind Naas Racecourse, and then a long way behind Donny DeVito, who's not a bad horse at the Galway Festival. No. He was 125 to 1 for that race, and then they run him behind Kitzbühel at 150 to 1 in a conditions hurdle. I think Conor Mustard in that. Like, he's rated 114. Kitzbühel is in the 140s.
Yeah.
It
was the summer runs that were. When you're underperforming in the summer, I said, "Geez, maybe he's not what I thought he was."
Double figure prices at the same time though, so I suppose it depends what way you look at it. So, but with the run behind London Office Colin, he weakened very quickly, so I will say that is a little bit concerning. But he did run well for a long way and brought them along, so I'd say there's a decent run in him. It might be the next day, but I think he could definitely pop up in the next couple of months off a mark in the low 110s. He's on 112, but maybe the high 100s. But we'll see how he gets on. Right, the final race, the 405, the Bet Victor €60 new customer offer to stick on your extra places at Cheltenham Festival bumper. Well, no, it's just advertising £60. This one's Reveille won't be happy with that.
What do you do? Sign up and get £60, is it?
I suppose, yeah. Sign up.
Probably have to gamble through it 84 times to get it out.
Yeah. God forbid if you win. Anyway, so a bumper full of 5 and 6 year olds, 14 going to post deck, and I suppose American Jukebox, he's probably turned into a bit of a hype machine now, is he? I suppose not. That's probably not fair because he's been beaten at 5-1 and 7-1. A good run, I suppose, behind Karate Kid probably sets the standard, but like you wouldn't be salivating if he goes and wins this, would you? Really? He's already been beaten in 2 bumpers.
Couldn't tell you anything about him. Don't know what colour he's in.
Jigginstown. Half sister to Ballyburn also in here. Meet me in St. Louis, who had 1 start over hurdles and ran okay in a bumper at Leopardstown at 40-1 again behind Karate Kid. So she'd have to reverse the form there with American Jukebox, who I said probably sets the standard. But also Gavin Cromwell with Champagne Jury probably needs to be mentioned as well. Having his first start under rules, was beaten 10 lengths in a point last time out, but Gavin tends to start his horses that he likes that little bit more in bumpers these days. So worth noting maybe on him. Right, that brings us to the end deck of Tap 89. Nice little bonus. A few technical difficulties along the way, but we got there in the end. Do we have a nap at the top?
Oh,
I don't think we did.
I don't think we agreed on anything. It was probably going to be Canal End till I looked at the race. I'm keen on Di Capo and Tyson. So that'd probably be my strongest. And
but I'm only keen on Canal End really. So yeah, we're probably not in agreement anywhere, unfortunately.
No,
we'll maybe do the Trixie though if anybody's listening.
Yeah,
be a nice Trixie.
Yeah, but geez, be risky that first race. You need better not have. That's a race. It's the type of race you can't not have a bet in, but you'd be better not having a bet in. You know, they're the sort of races you just leave alone. Just don't forget about them.
Yeah.
You know, I know we love them. Oh, it's a great race. Just watch it. You don't have to do every race.
It's hard to do.
I know. You want to have the winner of it so much.
Yeah, no, you absolutely do, and you want to, especially if you pick one out from far away. So let's look. Yeah. Well, I think we'll find a winner between us, even though about 7 of them have a chance. But anyway, just keep share, subscribe, and we're on to Tap 90 next, which will be the Dublin Racing Festival. Can't believe that came around again. Very much looking forward to that one. And yeah, there'll be plenty of the Excel sheet has came out with a little bit, so I'm still working away on that, and we will definitely. I've high expectations. For us deck. We get all the nonsense out of the way on Tap 88.
Yeah, you were saying we've never got any abuse so far. Yeah. I see that the followership has been growing, so we'll probably draw the blank the 2 days at Leopardstown, and all the abuse will come.
Yeah, bring it on.
That boys down nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. But until all that abuse comes, we'll just have to wait, I suppose, for Tap 91 to review it. But until next time, guys, just keep sharing, and subscribing, and we will talk to you soon. Bye bye.